Good morning, YouTube. I'm in downtown Dayton, and the protected species known as Downtown Dayton gets more bad news this week. So, you know, this hyped and fluffed downtown that we're constantly bombarded with, and this building was on the news recently. The owner defaulted on a loan payment, or his payment or mortgage payment on the building in general. And the building, from what they told us, is around 54% occupied, or around 50% occupied, which that's about the average. A lot of the buildings that I filmed down here before, Key Bank Tower right there, Kettering Tower right there, they're both have at least 60-70%, you know, vacancy rate. So, you know, we hear all these fluff stories about all how great this downtown is, but obviously businesses just are not thriving down here, and yet they don't want to do business. And it makes me wonder that how many, and there's probably going to be more tenants of this building pulling out en masse here very shortly, because if the owner is not able to make his payments, or if he's not paying his bills, then people are going to pull out. And there's some news that this building is going to end up going to Sherriff's auction. So anyways, another one bites the dust in the protected species of downtown Dayton. You know, they act like all downtown is this big protected species and such a glorious place, when in reality, those of us that have lived here long enough know it's a big shithole. So they can, you know, keep trying to, you know, tell us, you know, what we don't. They could keep telling us, you know, what we don't want to hear. They could keep telling us what we want to hear, but when we investigate things further, it later shows that things are not what they claim they are. And you really look at it, you see it's not a thriving downtown. Right now, just so you guys are wondering, it's Sunday morning, by the way. The weather's been pretty hot the last few days. It's been way too warm to be doing any of these other videos in the afternoon. I was going to shoot this video yesterday, but the weather, we've been in a heat wave here the last 3 or 4 days, and it's around 9:15 in the morning on a Sunday. I figured I would go and get this video in before it gets too hot. But anyway, the city's got a massive problem on their hands with all these office buildings. There is just way too many of them for what they need and for what they use downtown, and people have moved their businesses out to the suburbs. A lot of the businesses that would have, you know, occupied these 40, 50, even 30 years ago have moved out to the suburbs. And there's people I know who are lawyers, and they've told me that unless your office is downtown, it just doesn't pay to have your office in one of these buildings anymore. But you could see down here at Courthouse Square, of course, there's nothing open down here. I mean, I'm not that unreasonable to expect a bunch of people down here on a Sunday morning, but activity-wise, that lady down there, she's the only one here. So, as I mentioned before, Ghost Town USA. We're seeing Ghost Town USA on a Sunday morning, and yet, why is downtown this dead any day of the week if it is such a glorious place? But anyway, I don't know how much this building's going to end up going for at Sherriff's auction, but I'm not exactly sure what happens to the tenants in the meanwhile while this building is in limbo. But I'm sure if the owner is defaulting, they could probably, you know, break their lease. Because if the owner is not upholding his agreement, then why should the tenants that are here uphold their agreement and stay in the building? But anyway, you know, this is the downtown that city leaders don't want you to see, what Nan Whaley doesn't want you to see. And of course, we have all these fluff stories over and over again, but ain't nothing gonna happen with this. So anyway, that's it from the protected species of downtown Dayton, Ohio. The big lie that they try and protect, the big protected lion species of downtown Dayton, Ohio.